Hello and welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for Gemini. I'm Julia Mijas.
And I'm Jamie Kale Miller. Well, hey, Gemini, happy birthday. It's always nice to talk to you when you're close to your birthday like this. Such a wonderful, shiny, exciting time of the year. And I can't wait to tell you about it. But I do want to remind you that if you haven't gotten your yearly birthday reading yet, you might want to think about that because it's going to tell you all about the year to come and help you jump into it in the most powerful way. You'll find a link for that in the YouTube description below. Well, let's begin with relationships. And there's so much activity in Gemini this month, especially in the first half of the month, that you're just going to be whizzing around everywhere and bouncing off the walls and just very active and maybe even a little, nervous energy during this time. The sun in particular, while it's traveling through your first house, can make you really shiny. And it's a great time to let attention come to you rather than putting your attention on other people, to let yourself be noticed, let yourself shine forth and be seen. And I think Julia is going to have some things to say about that in the career department shortly. But there are some social planets happening here in your first house of self and identity and presentation, most notably Venus and Mercury. And there's also a new moon happening here, and Jupiter has moved in here recently. That Jupiter is going to remain in your first house for the rest of the year and into next year for a year total, and going to bring you luck and charisma, making you more independent and assertive in your relationships, and just kind of making you charming and charismatic so that people want to come to you. It's a really great placement for leadership. And so this is your year, Gemini, for sure. In the beginning of the month, we have a fabulous thing called Relationship Rapture Day on June 4th. And that's when Venus, moving quickly and moving forward, not retrograde, meets up with the sun. And that's going to happen in your first house and is going to make you all the more charming and attractive. And is a really good time for starting relationships, for meeting people, for giving a jump start to a relationship that you've had before. It's just going to make you so attractive. And if that happens to be your birthday, June 4th or thereabouts, then that's going to get baked into your solar return birthday chart for the rest of the year too. Now, Mercury, which is your ruler, is going to conjunct the sun for a Greater Epiphany Day later on in the month. And I'm going to let Julia tell you about that, actually. So I want to add that there's a new moon in your first house on June 6th, which is going to cement new beginnings in your social persona and your relationships both. And Mars will be in your 11th house of groups and communities and social life in general until June 8th. And so really just the first week and a half of the month, you've got to watch out for conflict in your friendships and in your relationships. So might need to curb your tongue or just kind of, not be too pushy and be gentle with the people who are being that way in your social life there in that first week and a half. And when Venus and Mercury sweep together into Cancer and your second house in the middle of the month around June 17th, your social life will become a little bit smaller, a little bit more intimate. And at that point, entertaining at home would be a better idea. But really, if you wanted to have a big party this year, this is absolutely the year to do it in the beginning of the month. Hey, Julia, what's up with career and finance for the Geminis out there?
I think you're going to be getting a bit more momentum in your career this year because the ruler of your career is Jupiter and it's coming into your first house after having spent some time in the 12th, which is a much more sort of isolated and not very active place. So new beginnings are definitely happening for you around the corner. Now, Neptune, the planet of confusion, idealization, is finishing up a very long journey. This is many, many years through your 10th house, bringing some confusion of what you're doing doing with your career along the way, as well as maybe some idealization, some new visions for you. That's going to be shifting really next year, but I even find when it's so close to the cusp, we begin to feel a little bit of that shift happening ahead of time. Now, Mercury, which is your personal ruler, the planet of intelligence, as well as all of his other friends, a number of other planets, are going to be in your first house until June 17th. So this is a time where you're really visible, you're extra shiny, very charismatic, really good time for promoting yourself, especially in career. And Mercury is direct, it's moving super fast. So, you might feel like you're not getting too many blockages along the way as you do things. Now, it's a really good time to do something special mid-month on June 14th because Mercury is going to have that special conjunction to the sun. It happens a few times a year. This is also happening at its fast, direct speed, and we call that Greater Epiphany Day. So, keep track of those insights and revelations. Having it happen in your first house, it might have to do with you personally, insights into yourself. And if this is also your birthday, you're going to have a pretty great year with that Jupiter in Gemini too. Now, when it comes to your money, your second house of money is ruled by the moon. So we like to watch what's happening with the moon phases and where. And there's going to be a new moon in your first house on June 6th. So again, there's this personal new beginning that's happening in your ability to make money, especially through your own efforts, through how you promote yourself, through how you put yourself out to others, cutting your own financial path. Then we're going to be having a full moon between that second eighth house axis, and that's a very financial axis on June 21st. So there might be a bit of a crisis surrounding your financial self-sufficiency because those full moons have to do with your relationships, and there might be a sense of negotiating how much of my money is mine and how much of your money is yours.
Find our site at pandoraastrology.com to get a reading with one of us, and find us on Patreon for workshops and classes. And we'll see you around the cosmos.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.